Hi, you guys, and welcome back to another Read Aloud. As you know, we've been talking about characters this week. Not so much what our characters physically look like, but what kind of person they are on the inside. So, what kind of characteristic traits would you use to describe them? For example, this character in our story, I would say she is courageous, she is brave, she is determined. Those are all strong characteristic traits I would use to describe her. Okay, this is the story of the girl who thought in pictures, the story of Dr. Temple Grandin. Now, she is a real person, she is alive, and this is a real story about her life. Now, before I begin the story, I want to tell you something. So, Dr. Temple Grandin has what's called autism. Some of you might have heard of it before, some of you might not have, and that's okay. Autism is basically her brain is a little bit different than ours. So she might have trouble communicating, she might not like social situations around other people, and she definitely has a different way of thinking. But the most important thing Dr. Temple Grandin wants you to know is that this makes her different. It doesn't make her less of a person. You will see throughout the story how people treated her just because she was a little bit different. But she overcame those obstacles and did many great things. She is actually a spokesperson for people with autism, and she's also a public speaker. That means she goes traveling all around the world and tells her story. So she does not let her autism stop her from doing great things. Just like we're all different, and we shouldn't let our differences stop us from doing anything great either. Okay, so the girl who thought in pictures, the story of Dr. Temple Grandin, the true story. So here she is, she's in the field. If you've ever felt different, if you've ever been low, if you don't quite fit in, there's a name you should know. Temple Grandin's that the name. In her tale, you'll find glory. So, get ready, get set for this cowgirl's true story. Okay, so we're going to start any story like a bibliography back when they were born. So here she is. In the city of Boston, one hot summer day, a sweet baby was born. It was Temple, hooray! Unique from the start, an unusual girl, she loved spinning in circles and watching things twirl. So they knew she was a little bit different since she was a little kid because she liked things differently than most kids her age. Look at her here. But some things she hated, like certain loud sounds or bright crowded places, large cities and towns. So you can see she's covering her ears. She doesn't like loud noises. She doesn't like big crowds. These are all typical symptoms of people who have autism. Not everybody, but pretty typical. They're hypersensitive. That means they like something that we might think is not loud, they're going to hear 10 times louder. So she does not like that at all. Frilly dresses with tags made her itch, pull, and tug. Something else that she hated? A big squeezy hug. So you might think that's unusual. A little girl, usually we all love hugs, especially from moms and dads, right? She hated them. She hated being touched, did not like hugs at all. Oh, and here's the worst of all. A shy loner, this Temple. But when she got mad, when her feelings of stress and frustration got bad, quite a tantrum she'd throw. Kick, holler, bang, shriek. Yet still by age 3, not one word did she speak. So she would throw these huge tantrums, and by age 3, she couldn't even talk yet. Which, as a parent, yes, you would be kind of concerned because by age 1, kids could at least say mama or dada or both, usually. She'll never be normal, was what some would say. Her brain's not quite right. You must send her away. Away? Not my Temple, her mother proclaimed. We will figure this out. You should all be ashamed. So the doctor said you should ship her off, get rid of her because she's different. And Mom said, you should be ashamed of yourself. Then, little by little, though sometimes she balked, special teachers helped Temple And one day she talked. And that thing with her brain, it was autism. See, she was different, not less. They all finally agreed. So she has this thing called autism, and like I said, it makes her different than the rest of us, but not less of a human being. Like most kids her age, she loved ice cream and art. But the way Temple thought, that's what set her apart. If something was mentioned, for instance, a fly, in her mind she'd see dozens of photos buzz by. So when we think about the word fly, we just think of a fly. Yep, that's it. She would think of every little detail about a fly. When it came time for school, let's just say that was hard, kids taunted and chased her all over the yard. They picked on poor Temple, how crazy it drove her. They teased her for saying things over and over and over and over and over. And sometimes people with autism do repeat themselves a lot. So kids at school made fun of her because she did that. Because again, she was a little bit different. Until finally she snapped. Yes, she did. Lost her cool. Threw a book at a kid and was kicked out of school. No one really got Temple. But well, and again, the truth of it was, Temple didn't really get them. You need time away, said her mom. That's what's best. You'll go visit your aunt on a ranch way out west. So mom knew things were difficult for Temple, even though she got help from doctors, but she sent her to her aunt's house because maybe life on a farm was a little bit easier for her. And guess what? Fitting it was, on a farm was less stress, since the pigs didn't care if her hair was a mess. Quite a sweet spot she had for the cows in her heart, in the herds, such big, gentle beasts who knew nothing of words. As she watched her new friends, a thought popped in her head. These cows think like me in pictures instead. So she's really connecting with the animals because her language skills aren't that strong. And as we know, animals can't really talk the way we can. So she's really connecting with them. So this farm is proving to be very beneficial for her. At a new school that fall, Temple found more support and a teacher who taught her, you'll never fall short. When you find what you're good at, like science, you'll soar. And that teacher was right. He had opened a door. So she built a machine like she had seen on some farms, so just like that one, an invention that hugged her with boards and not arms. It worked. She had done it. From memory, it's true. And just like the cows, it made Temple calm too. So if you remember a couple pages ago, it said she didn't like hugs. So she invented this machine like she saw on a farm that kind of hugged cows. And it's actually called this squeeze machine. And kids with autism can go in there and it kind of gives them the pressure they're looking for without a person touching them. I'm special, she thought, like a bright shooting star. My attention to detail could help me go far. Through her study, she learned there were farms not so kind. I will help them, she said. Some solution she'd find. So she wanted to help other farmers and cattle ranchers solve any problems they were having on their farm. And then something cool. Can you guess, could it be? Off to college she went. A degree she earned 3. And though ladies weren't experts on farms at the time, do you think that stopped Temple? No way, she did fine. She stepped through the door and went forward, no tears. She took on the world, but at times she had fears. Because some things were scary, like people she'd meet who'd ignore her ideas and, well, wouldn't be sweet. So as we know, people can always be mean. But she never gave up, learned her stuff through and through, like why cattle will circle and what makes them go moo. To build better farms was her goal. She would do it. Be kind to our creatures. They have feelings. She knew it. And slowly but surely, she changed many farms, until farm after farm built her awesome designs. Word spread about Temple, her feet's not so small. Temple Grandine, she's grand, she's the grandest of all. So people didn't really care that she had autism or she was different because she was making a huge difference on their farms. Now, for some of these things and more, she won honors and prizes, and a movie was made. But the biggest surprise is that girl with the future that couldn't be any bleaker. Yes, the once silent girl, she is now a big speaker. Today she spreads hope with her stories and speeches. From New York to Sydney to Rome, Temple teaches. Each person is special, so unique are our minds. This world needs your ideas. It takes brains of all kinds. So she goes around the world traveling, telling her stories, saying, doesn't matter if you're different, everybody's brain is unique, and we all have something special to share. So here's the lesson. Feeling odd or offbeat? Being different might just be what makes you so neat. Don't let doubt hold you back, not for 1 minute more. Stand tall and like Temple, march right through the door. So basically Temple is saying, don't let anything stop you. Stand proud, be proud of who you are, our differences and all, and go after what you want. And really quick, here's a little note from her. And here's a real picture of her on the farm. Dear reader, as a child, I was really glad that my mother always encouraged my ability in art. I encourage you to find something you are good at and work on developing it. If you're interested in becoming a scientist like me, find cool new ways to look at things such as microscopes and telescopes. Explore nature. Think up your own hands-on science experiments. Keep learning, especially from your mistakes. Temple Grandine. So you can see why I admire her so much, and she is a very inspirational person, okay? Just because she has autism, that never stopped her from living her best life and going after her dreams.